Hi, I am Dr. Julie Brown. I am your trained concussion doctor and board certified chiropractic neurologist. Today I want to talk about tendonitis after a concussion. And it really starts with my personal journey as a doctor. I didn't really deal with car accidents that often, but I did deal with a lot of musculoskeletal injuries. People would come into me for tendonitis. And the one common theme that stuck out to me was prior concussions or head injuries, and the patient, besides me asking, sometimes they divulge it, and so it became a common routine question to really understand it. And there was a huge correlation clinically in my practice, seeing people who have had concussions and now are seeing me for tendonitis. Flash forward to my now diplomate and understanding of traumatic brain injury, I can explain maybe why I see those things, and I'm going to do that right here. First of all, we want to understand what tendonitis is. It is the inflammation of the tendon. Now, anatomically, the muscle will bleed in and become, not bleed, literally bleed, but blends in to become the tendon that will attach to the bone, and it doesn't have as much blood flow. It's a little more rigid, and there are sensory organs in there to give feedback to the brain as well as in the muscle spindle. And what happens is you can overwork that muscle overworks, and so it makes that tendon have to work harder, and you can get inflammation in this area. Now, from a chiropractic neurology view, we look at things just a little bit different. It's not just, hey, can we loosen up the muscle and take the pressure off of that tendon? We look what we call suprasegmentally at the nervous system. So mostly the brain loves to send out active information, and then a lot of the brain has to actively inhibit that active information to say, hey, slow down. So if I reach towards you, there should be a smooth connection. There's no tremor for me. There should be this smooth correction, and the brain is constantly activating and inhibiting to make this a smooth movement. So there's a balance between the systems. And the reason I say this is a huge part of the brain. What it does is this cortex that sends out motor movement. Actually, this cortex responds to this side. There is some patterning onto the same side, but typically it controls the opposite side. As the brain is activated, at the same time, the cortex has a huge barrage into this thing called the pontomedullary reticular formation that's in the brainstem. And one of the things that the pontomedullary reticular formation, or PMRF, allows us to do is inhibit these muscles in the front and allows us to be bipedal. So this will allow a match of the length or the pull on the muscle in the front and the back equally, so that we don't get tendonitis. Now, what will happen in a concussion is if you have damage to the cortex, or it's more like it's not functioning to the level that it should, that information that goes into the pontomedullary reticular formation is not doing what's supposed to, and the person may function as if they are internally rotated. What that's going to do is make these outside muscles work harder, and the person can develop tendonitis or complaints in their wrist or their shoulder. From a chiropractic neurologist standpoint, I actually want to address the eye movements and the cortical regions of the brain and see if I can make a difference. If I did some optokinetic stimulation, does that change the tone and the posture of the patient, therefore leading to a decrease in that tendonitis? Do I need to actually work the muscle? Do I need to work the muscles on the other side to kind of ease up the muscles on this side through reciprocal inhibition? Is there too much damage that I really need to refer out to an orthopedic surgeon to discuss possible medical intervention with medications or injections or whatever options they have, PRP? It's not my scope, but there can come a point where we refer out to see if there's other options for patients. So if you have tendonitis and you sustained a concussion years ago, this could ultimately be why, especially if the concussion was not addressed. And this is why I do work with car accident victims or patients and help them to get their brain working as best they can to help prevent these future problems with tendonitis. You can subscribe below if you have any questions. My website's below, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.